Like I got two small girls, two small kids. Being around them with my phone in my hand is like sort of the worst role model that I think that I can be.
Yeah.
So it's for the phone addicted person, but also just, for every parent that just wants to use their phone a little less. So we figured there must be some way how to bring the surf forecast out of the phone, out of the computer into a physical form. And so after, I don't know, how many rounds of iterations and testings, hundreds at this point, we've come up with swellframe. Yeah.
So I'm going to show you how it looks here, David Lee Scales. I'm going to bring this up. Oh, wait, let me, here's, sorry. So instead of looking on your phone or computer.
And the Ben Gravy video very much is about the opposite of doom scrolling. If you want to check the surf report on your phone, you end up getting sucked into other notifications. You end up on Instagram. You end up spending 20 minutes before you even check the surf, at which point you may have missed your window. And I was like, that is so smart. That is exactly what I need. I don't need another app. I don't need another complexity. I need a simplification. And so I think you guys absolutely nailed it. And again, that display, the device itself, eliminating any leakage from that kind of doom scrolling is super smart, smarter than I would have done.
Totally agree. When I first saw it, I thought initially, I was like, come on, what is this next tech thing? I didn't know that Tommy was behind it, or Flo for that matter. But I was like, come on, this is the last thing I need. And then I actually looked at it even before I knew Tommy was behind it and thought, wait a second, this is exactly what I want. I want to come downstairs and just see tide, swell direction, boom.
Like I always thought like, yeah, how much can it be, right? So we're spending $3,000 to go to market in the US just for the certification. That seems like fair. It's $35,000 to do the extra certifications to be able to sell it to anybody in Europe. So that's like, so you were almost at $40,000 just to put a sticker on it to say this is safe. The funny part is every single piece of technology that we've custom built is still made of components that are all pre-certified. So technically, we're just using technology that even in small components existed before and refactoring it to a new purpose. And everything that comes in it is already certified as safe in everywhere in the world. Just as a new combination, it still needs to go through all that testing again. And that's just one aspect to what we're trying to fund with Kickstarter, right?
Gotcha.
So when people, where do they go? What's the Kickstarter's name?
Like I'll keep it light. We use the same underlying data sources like NOAA and all these global weather and ocean models that Surfline uses. Got to be very clear, we're not using Surfline, right? That I think that has to be very clearly stated. We're not using or referring to or anything, leveraging their technology, but they are not owning the buoys out in the ocean, right? They're also leveraging data that's out in the ocean, and that's the same data, raw data that we're having commercial subscriptions for and paying for. And then we have built essentially just a visualization layer to make sure we're not showing out of the 25 swells that are currently coming in. We're picking out the actual primary swell and secondary swell and showing you the swell direction, the swell size in feet, the wind direction, the wind strength, and then we rate it in stars 1 to 5 to what we think this results in. But in the end, everybody knows their local spot. So you look at it, you kind of get like, it's, I don't know, it's 3 feet in Asbury today, or 2 to 3 feet a foot, whichever, one of the two, and 6 seconds, 7 seconds. That's a nice summer swell with offshore winds, right? So if you see that 1 second, no, it's worth going. But yeah, the underlying technology is fully self-built. But I will add one comment. So we put it on Instagram, posted, and people like, one of my favorite, and if maybe the person watches this, like threads that it started off was somebody was like, I live in Hawaii and I go to this surf spot and I always check Surfline or whatever app they're checking to see when it's bad so that I can go fishing. So I was like, so he reverse engineered for himself the use case of checking this spot to know when it's not good so that there's no surfers in the water. That's so funny. In my mind I was like, okay, so like this is Tommy and I were straight jumping in, like, let's build this for fishing. Another friend was like, well, imagine we just put snow, like, your powder forecast. So that's something we're working on. And then essentially any forecast-based sport, or the sport that lives by the forecast, right? Maybe fishing, snowboarding, scuba diving, where you need water clarity, anything that you can build a forecast on based on marine or weather data is something we're already working on.
Smart.
I'd buy stock if I could, David Lee Scales, but I can't.
Well, I know the Kickstarter's been really well received, so congrats, you guys. Product looks awesome.
I have no shame. It's the first time anyone's ever said that I sound anything other than a Muppet. Oh man! Speaking of Muppets, did you hear Griffin Colapinto on the new stab, David Lee Scales?
I didn't hear him. We do have a listener email.